In a quiet fold of the Loire Valley, where the forests of Chinon whisper secrets to the wind, there stands a château that seems born of dreams. This is Château Ussé, a fortress shaped by centuries, a palace softened by poetry, a place where legends sleep beneath ancient beams, where Charles Perrault once wandered, and from its towers imagined the tale of sleeping beauty. For over 1,000 years, these lands have been watched over, walked upon, and whispered through by kings, poets, warriors, and dreamers alike. Today we walk in their footsteps to explore a castle where myth and memory are etched into every stone.
So legend has it that while passing through Ussé, the writer, the author, Charles Perrault, he was so inspired by this castle, the romanticism of it all, that he wrote Sleeping Beauty while he was staying right here in this tower.
Stone by stone, dream by dream, Château d'Ussé took shape, a harmony of Gothic might and Renaissance grace. Its towers rise like sentinels of a forgotten tale, its facade catching the light like a page kissed by time. Built upon ancient foundations and carved with noble ambition, this château once watched over the Loire and Indre valleys, a guardian of travellers, a symbol of power, a home to legends. Today its silhouette still stirs the heart, inviting us to step inside, to uncover the stories hidden within.
You want to go see a princess? You want to see a princess and a rabbit? Okay, well, let's go. An Easter bunny. Bonjour.
Bienvenue to the castle of Sleeping Beauty.
Thank you.
It was Easter weekend when we filmed these enchanted grounds, a time when joy blooms with the tulips and the château becomes a stage for childhood wonder. The air was sweet with laughter as children searched the gardens for hidden treasures, delighted by visits from the Easter rabbit, and even Sleeping Beauty herself, who, it is said, once slumbered beneath these very towers. On this weekend, Ussé is not just a castle, it is a memory, a celebration of spring, of family, of magic returned to life. Beneath the watchful gaze of turrets and towers, the gardens of Château d'Ussé unfold like a living storybook, a verdant dream carved into the banks of the Indre. These formal gardens, inspired by the vision of André Le Nôtre, the master behind Versailles, were first imagined in 1664 by Thomas Bernin, Marquis de Valentinois, a man who counted among his guests none other than Charles Perrault himself. They are gardens sculpted in harmony, designed not merely for beauty, but for perspective, for grandeur, for pleasure. Every pathway, every clipped yew and whispering fountain leads us deeper into this exquisite tableau. The symmetry is precise, yet never cold, as if each turn offers a quiet invitation to pause, to breathe. And then there is the orangerie, a luminous space nestled amidst the green. Once a shelter for citrus trees in winter, it now stands as a gentle guardian of light and fragrance, an architectural echo of elegance from centuries past. In springtime, this landscape is nothing short of spectacular. Tulips rise in bright procession, petals flicker in the breeze like candle flames. Here, you do not merely stroll, you drift through time. The gardens of Ussé are not just admired, they are felt.
Isn't this garden just absolutely stunning? So this garden was designed by André Lenotre. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I love Lenotre. He also designed Château Versailles, Vaux-le-Vicomte. Incredible talent. And he did this design in sort of these geometric patterns. Today, we get to see on Easter these beautiful tulips and the spring garden flowers. Let's go take a look.
André Lenotre's vision stretches far beyond the golden gates of Versailles. It echoes here, quietly, gracefully, across the terraces of Ussé. His philosophy, rooted in order, scale and perspective, found fertile ground in the Loire Valley. And here, at Ussé, it blooms with a touch of whimsy, where symmetry meets serenity. Lenotre taught the nobility not only how to garden, but how to express power through beauty. The terraces, framed by stone balustrades and clipped boxwood, reflect his influence. A theatre of nature meant to elevate both the château and the soul. To walk these paths is to walk in the footsteps of kings, architects, poets and dreamers, each one leaving something behind in the soil of history. Beyond its turrets and towering facade, Ussé is not merely a castle of the past, but a home still lived in today. The family of the Duke of Blacas resides within these walls, preserving the soul of the chateau with quiet devotion. And in a rare and generous gesture, they have opened part of this treasured estate to the public, inviting us to walk not only through history, but through their own ancestral story. It is also one of the few chateaux in the region that welcomes dogs, a small yet thoughtful kindness that makes this place feel not only regal, but remarkably real. As we cross each threshold, we step gently between centuries, where the scent of waxed wood mingles with old stone, and the atmosphere hums with the echoes of lives once lived and still unfolding. This is not a museum. This is memory made tangible, a private world, quietly shared.
This beautiful space is called the Vauban Room. Now, if you do not know about his backstory, I will put a link in the description below. Absolutely amazing person, a huge career, and extremely talented. This room has just been refinished and the floors are gleaming. The oak floors are stunning. They're so beautiful. Vauban was the finance controller for King Louis XIV. And his daughter was very special to him.
Once the site of the castle chapel, the Vauban Room was built in 1670 by the Marquis de Valentinois and accommodated Vauban whenever he came to Ussé to visit his daughter, who was married to Louis II Benin de Valentinois. In front of the 16th century Brussels tapestry depicting David and Goliath stands a superb Italian ebony cabinet, also dating from the 16th century. It was one of the several objects brought back by the Comtesse de la Roche-Jacquelin from her travels in Italy in 1832, while exiled from France. Made in ebony, inlaid with mother-of-pearl, ivory and lapis lazuli, and adorned with historical and mythological scenes, it has no less than 49 secret drawers.
I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see this space. This actually is attached to the Duke's father's bedroom. This was his bathroom, but now it's been turned into this amazing space with beautiful paintings. I also wanted to share with you that back in 1808, Napoleon ordered Vauban's heart to be transferred to l'Invalide in Paris, and that's where it remains today.
Here, within these ancient walls, centuries breathe beneath every vaulted ceiling and painted panel. Château d'Ussé is a storybook in limestone, each room a chapter shaped by the hands of kings, marquises, soldiers, poets and dreamers. In this part of the video, you'll tour the guardroom, once the entryway for knights and noble guests. Above the fireplace a portrait watches, regal and remote, while glass cases glimmer with treasures from the East. Indian ceremonial weapons, Syrian cedar, delicate miniatures of the Taj Mahal. Gifts and conquests from a world far beyond these moats. We have already visited the Vauban Salon, once a medieval chapel, now reborn in soft silks and shadowed tapestries. Beneath the painted eyes of Madame de Maintenon and Chateaubriand, this room is a shrine to memory, its every detail a whisper from a vanished world. The kitchen, oldest of all, lies beneath a curved tuffeau vault. An underground passage once led to the forest of Chinon, a secret exit in times of siege. Today, its heavy wooden beams cradle the warmth of survival, and Gothic chests and ancient pots remain like sentinels of centuries gone by. Then we enter the grand gallery, once open to the sky, now enclosed and luminous. Brussels tapestries line the walls, scenes of harvests, battles, feasts, woven with the colours of a vanished Europe. In the centre, a bust of Louis XIV, his gaze unwavering, a reminder of Ussé's noble proximity to power. And finally, the grand staircase, its sweeping banisters and velvet steps recalling not only royalty, but romance. Sedan chairs, polished boots, the scent of oiled leather and pine, stories etched in every tread. Here, the chateau does not merely exhibit history, it invites you to feel it, as if the walls themselves still remember every embrace, every farewell, every echo of laughter and sorrow and song.
Isn't this space just amazing? I love it. It's got the most amazing territorial views. And if you can believe it, the current owner, the Duke, his father used this as his bedroom. Now, sadly, I learned that the grave of Vauban was ransacked during the French Revolution. Château d'Ussé was built more than 1,000 years ago, and this is the old medieval dining hall.
For nearly 1,000 years, Château d'Ussé has stood as both sanctuary and stage, its stones bearing witness to love, war, ambition and ruin. Once held by the powerful de Bielle family, military commanders, royal confidants, Ussé was more than a home. It was a prize, a dowry, a testament to loyalty rewarded by kings. From the marriage of Jeanne de Valois, daughter of King Charles VII, to the grand designs of Jacques d'Espinay, Chamberlain to Charles VIII, the chateau's halls echoed with whispers of courtly intrigue and the weight of royal favour. But even titles could not shield its lords from debt and decline. Over generations, Ussé changed hands, from noble daughters to financiers, from dukes to dreamers. Each left their mark, each reshaped the legacy. And still, the chateau remained. It has stood through revolutions and restorations, its silhouette rising like a memory against the Indre, guarding the stories of those who dared to call it theirs.
Château d'Ussé has evolved from this incredible medieval stronghold to a Renaissance castle to now a generational residence. The family still lives here. This was the grandmother's bedroom for some time. It's just absolutely stunning. Let me show you around.
By the 17th century, the medieval fortress had softened, reshaped not by conquest, but by design. No longer a place of battle, Ussé became a symbol, a retreat for artists, a court for royals, a jewel glimmering on the edge of the Chinon forest. Its defenders were no longer soldiers, but visionaries. Architects expanded the galleries. Grand staircases replaced winding towers. Here, past met present in a delicate embrace. Even Vauban, the Sun King's master of fortifications, left his imprint not with cannon or stone, but with terraces and symmetry, carving the land into order and grace. And yet, for all its refinement, the château never abandoned its roots. The moat may have filled, the drawbridge fallen still, but its essence, the spirit of a watchful, enduring sentinel, remained untouched. Ussé had become something rare, a living monument where each wall bears the weight of survival and each corridor opens a door to France's storied past.
It's interesting because it's so beautifully furnished in this house. It feels like the family just moved out of some of these rooms yesterday. It's probably one of the best furnished castles that I've been in the sense that everything belongs to the family. This bed is absolutely stunning. So beautiful. Can you imagine sleeping on this? And opening up the doors. And this is your view in the morning. Good morning, Loire Valley. So the pavilion was built for the marriage of the daughter of Marshal de Vauban. This is what she looked like. If paintings like this are of interest to you, this artist is called Jean-Marc Nattier, and you can visit one of my favorite paintings of his in the Musée Jacquemart-André in Paris. This is the daughter. And the room that we're in right now was built specifically for her and her marriage. It's a unique opportunity to view this painting because it rests in the private space of the family.
Nestled in the private wing of the château, hidden from the public's view, lies a room steeped in time and in story. This is the family's library, a sanctuary of ink and parchment, where history breathes from every volume and the very air is scented with leather, waxed wood, and secrets. Here, beneath the carved beams and beside the tall windows that flood the space with golden Loire Valley light, generations have catalogued the memories of Ussé, its owners, its treasures, its myths, and among those myths, a tale unfurled that would travel the world. It was in these very halls, as a guest of the Marquis, that Charles Perrault is said to have found the soul of a fairy tale, the towers, the turrets, the gentle hush of the gardens beyond, all of it whispered to him the dream that would become La Belle au Bois Dormant, Sleeping Beauty. Centuries later, children still press their hands to the glass, imagining the spinning wheel, the slumbering princess, the kiss that would wake a kingdom. But the real enchantment lives here, in this quiet chamber of thought and time, where the line between memory and magic gently fades. As we leave the castle bathed in spring's golden glow, Château d'Ussé lingers with us, not just as stone and story, but as something far more magical. From medieval stronghold to inspiration for Sleeping Beauty, this place holds centuries of memory, myth, and meaning. Thank you for joining us on this Eastertime visit, where past and present blossom together. To explore more French chateaux, be sure to follow along, subscribe to the channel, and wander through our chateau playlist, where the fairy tales of France are always in bloom.